This is a 2021 Volkswagen ID.4 all-electric SUV, and today we're going to review it. I'll tell you about the horsepower, cargo, dimensions, and safety.
And I'll tell you about the interior, the controls, and all the technology.
But before we get started, take a moment, click that subscribe button down below.
And ring that bell notification so you never miss a video.
So, what do you say, Nate? Let's go for a ride, an all-electric ride. Today, we're working with our friends at Mankato Volkswagen in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota. The clean lines and aerodynamic elements create a striking silhouette. Yes, it's indeed an EV SUV that doesn't make you sacrifice form for function. Actually, VW says it drives like a GTI, and it has the packaging of a Tiguan and the purpose of a Beetle. All the best things about VW in one package. At Volkswagen, they've always believed that access to mobility can change your life. That's why they developed this ID.4 for the people, an electric SUV that's functional, fun to drive, and within reach. This is the 2021 Volkswagen ID.4, and it's available in 3 trim levels. There's the Pro that starts at $39,995, the Pro S $44,495, and this, the first edition, at $43,995, and they are currently available only in rear-wheel drive, but they will all eventually be available in all-wheel drive as well. As I said, this ID.4 is the first edition trim, and it's presented here in Mythos Black Metallic, and it has a Black Leatherette interior and an MSRP of $45,425. Now, it is powered by a single 82 kilowatt hour electric motor with lithium-ion battery pack, and the liquid-cooled battery pack is actually located under the passenger floor, and it contains 288 lithium-ion pouch cells in 12 modules, adding up to 82 kilowatt hours gross capacity or 77 kilowatt hours usable. That rear-mounted motor produces 201 horsepower and 229 pound-foot of torque, and it has a range of up to 250 miles. It also has an onboard 11 kilowatt hour AC charger, and it has a 125 kilowatt DC fast charging capability with 7.5 hours charge time at 240 volt charging, and at that rate of charge, the battery can be topped up to 80% capacity in about 30 minutes. Okay, looking out front, these are automatic LED headlights with adaptive front lighting system and LED daytime signature running lights. And I really do like that blackened out headlight trim inside. That's pretty cool treatment in there with the contrasting white piece on the actual headlamp unit itself. And it's really cool, of course, doesn't need a full functioning grille, but it does have that illuminated horizontal single bar grille with the black and white VW badge that kind of looks like it's floating in the middle of it. And this is a body colored front bumper, and it does have the parking sensors, and it does have matte black functional air side curtain vents, and below that you see the matte black lower grille for cooling of the battery pack, and it does have a matte silver splitter. Up top, these are rain sensing automatic wipers, and they do have one of my favorite things living here in Minnesota. They do have heated washer nozzles. All right, let's take a look around the side. Okay, I really do like these 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels, and they do have the gloss black pockets, and these are wrapped in 255 45 R20 all-season tires. It has 4-wheel independent suspension with struts up front and multi-link rear with gas shocks and both front and rear anti-roll bars. It does have full-wheel ABS with 13.4-inch regenerative front vented disc. However, 11 by 2-inch rear drum brakes. Not sure the last time I saw drum brakes on a vehicle. I really do like that matte black moldings around the wheel wells and the rocker panel moldings that give the ID.4 that off-road capable look. You can also see the side fender trim in black and matte silver right here, labeling this as a first edition ID.4. You see also it does have the black beltline and window trim with the matte silver trim on the A-pillar that arches all the way back to the rear and ends at the bottom of the D-pillar. And it does have flush mounted door handles, and you'd expect these to pull out, but they don't. Your hand actually touches a rubberized sensor underneath and the door actually opens. And of course, these are power folded heating side mirrors, and they have the gloss black mirror caps and integrated turn signals. And up top you can see it does have the brushed aluminum side roof rack rails, and there is a contrasting gloss black roof, and in the middle of all that is a panoramic fixed glass roof sunshade. Now I say fixed because it's not a sunroof, it doesn't open or slide. So let's take a look around the back. Okay, out back you can see there is the roof mounted spoiler with integrated third brake light, and this is a hands-free, easy open and close remote power liftgate. Now it does have a fixed rear window with a fixed interval wiper, and of course it does have a heated back glass defroster. These are LED taillights, and I do like the black mesh trim inside there that is a repeating of the design of the front lower grille. And you know, it's kind of cool when they carry on that design theme from front to back. I also like how the light bar design spans from side to side, and again, that black and white VW logo looks to be kind of just floating in air. And below that, you do have the ID.4 badge. There is a body colored rear bumper, and it does have parking sensors, and of course it does have a backup camera. And one of my favorite cool things on there with that backup camera is it does have a washer. Down below is a matte black rub strip and lower fascia with matte silver lower valance. And below that, you'll also see there is a trailer hitch. And of course, no exhaust pipes because this is an EV vehicle. Let's take a look inside at the cargo area. Okay, the second row seats do split 60-40 folding. And right now I've got them up. Underneath the cargo floor, there is a spare tire mobility kit, and there's some additional hidden storage as well. And this cargo floor, this is just a mat, but this cargo floor is actually height adjustable as well. There are two LED cargo lights, and there is a 12-volt outlet. Max cargo volume behind the first row is 64.2 cubic feet. Max cargo volume behind the second row is 30.3 cubic feet. Cargo floor length to the front row to the rear sill, 64.9 inches. Cargo floor length to the second row to the rear sill is 37.4 inches. Cargo width at the belt line, 49.2 inches. Cargo width at the wheel houses, 39.4 inches. And cargo opening from floor to ceiling, 32.3 inches, and finally lift over to get something off the ground into the vehicle is 30 inches. So what about some of the safety systems that are on this Volkswagen ID.4? Well, there is anti-slip regulation, brake assist, electronic brake distribution, there's electronic stability control, there's also intelligent crash response system, automatic post-collision braking, front and rear park distance control, lane keeping assist, blind spot warning, and so much more. Now let's talk about the dimensions and the specs. Okay, the front track is 62.5 inches, the rear track 61.7 inches, width 72.9 inches, length 180.5, height 64.4, wheelbase 108.9 inches. It does have a ground clearance of 8.3 inches, an approach angle of 17.5 degrees, a departure angle of 21.2 degrees, and a breakover angle of 17.1 degrees. Its curb weight, 4,698 pounds, and it has a max payload of 948 pounds, and it can tow up to 2,200 pounds. Its turning circle, 33.6 feet, and fuel capacity, well, 0 gallons, because it is an all-electric vehicle. So, got you there. Okay, what about safety? Well, IIHS nor National Highway Transportation Safety Administration have yet had a chance to rate this vehicle, but of course that information is coming, so stay tuned. Performance, 0 to 60, 7.6 seconds. Standing quarter mile, 16 seconds at 86.3 miles per hour. Top speed, 99.4 miles per hour. And braking of 60 to 0 is 119 feet. What do I think about its appearance? Well, I like the powerful and confident stance, and it has plenty of strong flowing lines. Kind of like it, looks good. All right, warranty. Well, new vehicle warranty, 4 years, 50,000 miles. EV components warranty, 8 years, 100,000 miles. Roadside assistance, 3 years, 36,000 miles. Wonder if that includes roadside charging. Not sure. So, finally, economy. 104 miles city, 89 highway, and 97 combined MPGe. So, what exactly does MPGe mean? Well, it stands for miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent, and it measures the fuel efficiency of vehicles that run on non-liquid fuels, such as hybrid and electric models. To determine MPGe ratings, the EPA uses the precise amount of electric energy that's equal to the energy in 1 gallon of gasoline. By determining the vehicle's consumption per distance, the EPA can calculate its MPGe. The agency uses advanced computer modeling or actual driving cycle to convert native units into a gasoline energy equivalent. By considering liquid fuels tank to wheel and an electric vehicle's wall to wheel consumption, it can measure the amount of energy that the owner will most likely pay to use. For a battery-powered car, the distance it travels per that measure of energy determines its MPGe rating. Well, there you go. Still confused or want more information? Head over to the EPA's website to learn more. Now let's take a look inside, but before we do, check out my notes in the description down below, and please take a moment to give us a like, leave a comment, and click on that subscribe button. So, what do you say, Nate? Take it away.
All right, stepping on the inside of the ID.4, we have some unusual things throughout the car. We'll just start here at the door. You know, you got soft touch materials right up in here. You've got some a little bit firmer materials up on the top. And then the unusual things start here with the door window switches. So all 4 windows are auto up and down, but these right now will operate the front. And when you touch that, it's just a touch sensitive. You see the rear lights up, and now they will control the rear windows. Right? As far as the power folding heated mirrors here, it's a rotary dial. So if I rotate to the right, you get the right mirror. If I rotate to the left, you get the left mirror, and then you can control it. And if you rotate down again, you get the power folding. If you rotate again, you get the heated mirrors. So it's all in the rotary switch. Now the second unusual thing is the unlock button. This is a child lock for the rear doors. This is your lock and unlock button. So one push will lock it, and then a second push, and it should light up. The car's off right now, but that will then unlock it. Down here you've got a rear trunk release, and then you've got some ample storage down here, and it is felt lined at the bottom. Now the seats themselves are 12-way power with 2-person memory setting and a massage function, and both seats are in the front are identical. Coming down here, because this is a first edition, you'll notice the play and pause on the foot pedals, which I think is just kind of funny. All right, coming back here, you got a nice footrest on the left. You do have a pass-through, and I like it when vehicles make use of extra space, but I do wish there was some sort of tray down there. But you do have a pass-through underneath that. Now coming up here, we have our light controls, and so they're all soft touch buttons. So there is actually no physical push, but you have your lights here. You got a different mode for them. You got your weather lights here if you got bad weather, and then you got your max defroster and your rear defroster. Okay, and then on the steering wheel itself, it is a manual tilt and telescope, and that lever is right here.
The dimensions in the front are as follows. There are 41 inches of headroom, 58 inches of shoulder room, 54 inches of hip room, 41 inches of leg room, and then step-in height is 18 inches. Now let's step in and start it up.
Okay, so there is a physical push start button if you want to use that, but all you have to do is get in with the key and put your foot on the brake, and it's on. So that's the second unusual thing. The dashboard itself up here, it's nice that we have one on an all-electric vehicle. So I really do like having some information up here. It is a 5.3-inch screen because the screen ends about right here. So the screen itself is 5.3. The actual pod is about 7 inches at its smallest, and then goes to about 8 inches right here if you include the whole plastic housing area. All right, so the gear selector is a little bit unusual. It's just a rotary knob at the end here with a push for park. But one time forward will put you in drive. The second time forward will allow your battery to do some regenerating on your drive. And then a click backwards gives you reverse, and then a half click forward or backwards gives you neutral. Other than that, this is your windshield wiper stuff, which is pretty standard. Volkswagen, you've got your intermittent wiper switch up here. Over on the left here, of course, you have your standard turn signals, and then your headlight bright and low beam function. Your other functions are over on the left, where I showed you just before I got into the car. And we'll go over more of that in another detailed video on the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen. All right, coming back to the steering wheel controls, they're a bit unusual because they're soft touch, meaning there's no physical button there. But they do have haptic feedback, so you kind of feel things with your fingers as you go. So we'll go over the whole function of these buttons on another video, but just suffice it to say that this is your cruise control here, and then this over here controls your media as well as your voice command, and one function on the dashboard. I do like the first written in here on the steering wheel, since this is a first edition. And the white steering wheel, the white column here, the white around the infotainment screen, that's all part of, and then on the doors, excuse me, is all part of the first edition package. Coming over to the infotainment screen, this is a 12-inch screen. Now, standard is a 10-inch, so this is the larger system. And it's got lots of functionality built into it, and we'll go over that again in another video. But it does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, AM and FM radio, HD radio, and Sirius XM, as well as Bluetooth. The audio system itself, the wattage is unknown. It is 7 speakers, including a center speaker, and it is not any particular brand of speaker. It's just a Volkswagen brand. So for those of you who are hoping for an Harman Kardon system or a Beat system, right now Volkswagen is just saying it's just one of theirs. Okay, you do have all soft touch controls again down here. So down here you've got a couple of, these are all soft touch buttons. There's no actual physical button in the car. Except for your power window switch and your mirror controls. So if I press this, basically you get your backup camera along with the grids, and then your sensor areas. It does have front and rear parking sensors. And then, so if I shift it into, say, reverse, then the rear sensors are active. Now you do have a couple of views down here. So this is kind of a wide view. If I go down here, I get a hitch view. And if I go down here, I get a wide backup angle view. In addition to that, if I go here, I can adjust the temperature, the black and white, and the color. And then if I go here, I can mute the warning sounds from the backup sensors. Doesn't turn them off, just turns off the sound, which again, why you'd want that, I don't know, unless you're pulling a trailer, then it might make sense. Okay, moving on, you've got Klima button. Not a climate, but a Klima. It is, however, your climate stuff, and it's all up in here. Now, the only thing I'll say here real quick is the only way to control the fan speed is through the infotainment screen. All right, you've got your hazards buttons here. So if you press on this one, you do get all of your safety systems, and I'll go over again on another video how to do that. Over here we have different modes. So you got Eco, Comfort, Sport, and then Custom. All right, come down below that, you do have your air vents. You do have configurable cup holders and storage right here. So right now I've got these two pieces, and I can take these out and just have an open storage area. Slippery. I can take out this actual cup holder, and I can put it in there. So, and then you can take these extra pieces and you can slot them in down here. There's little lines in there for them to fit in, so you can, configure your storage a little bit, which again is another unique feature. Down below that, you do have your wireless charging pad right here where my phone is. You have two USB-Cs. There are no USB-As in the car, so if you're going to think about purchasing this, you might want to make sure you have all USB-C connections. There is no traditional armrest, so to speak. You do have a nice cover that closes, and your armrest comes in the form of an actual armrest right here. Okay. There is an inside button. If you push, you can lower it. Okay. And then if you push it again, it locks into place. And both driver and passenger have the same type of armrest. Over here in the glove compartment, it got a dampened opening. It's a fairly large size, and it's not a fault line or anything, but it's a good size. Coming up above here, you have an automatic dimming rear view mirror, and then of course you just have your dome lights up here, and they are just touch sensitive. Okay? And then of course you can set your lights to come on when the doors are open or not, and then you can just turn all the lights on right there at the push of a button. Okay, so on the visors themselves, they do have a light above here, and what we've noticed is if the car is shut off, the lights don't work. So if you try this and like, oh, the lights aren't on, well, start the car and they'll work just fine. They are also telescoping, and they are the same on both sides. All right, let's step into the second row.
The dimensions in the second row are as follows. There are 38 inches of headroom, 56 inches of shoulder room, 47 inches of hip room, 37.6 inches of leg room, and the step-in height is 17.5 inches. Now let's step in and take a closer look at the second row.
Okay, so in the second row, you continue this nice white first edition trim. You got your power window switch right here. You got bottle storage right here, which is fairly large. You could probably fit a liter bottle in there. The seats themselves have two storage pockets on them. You have a top one that'll fit a nice any size cell phone right in them, and then you have a bottom mat pocket as well. Now in the middle, you've got a tiny bit of storage. I'm not really sure what you fit in there besides some coins, but you do have two USB outlets, and then of course your air vents. Now the one thing you'll notice is that this has a lot of room in the back. Now this seat's tilted back quite a bit further than I would probably normally travel in. As far as forward to back, it's adjusted for what would be comfortable to me. And I'm 5'11.5", but I have got like, close to 4 inches of knee room. Okay, and I've got several inches, probably close to 2 inches of headroom, to the hardliner, not to the window shade. So lots of space back here. If you were to move into the middle, because it's got a flat floor, because it's got the battery, you still have to get your feet on either side, but it'd be a little more comfortable than cars that have a hump in the middle there. It does have armrest right here in the middle with two cup holders, and again, I always like it when they're elevated. And then you have a pass-through to the back right there. Now in addition to that, of course, you do have LED lights. I kind of like it that it just looks kind of cool, but they have double lights in here instead of one long light, which I think is kind of a nice little touch. Of course, you got a coat hanger on each side as well as a grab handle. And the grab handles are on all 4 doors. So overall, really roomy second row. They are a 60-40 split as well. Coming up next, we take it for a drive.
Okay, taking a ride in the Volkswagen ID.4. You know, immediately I got to talk about the quietness in here. I'm on the highway and I'm going 65 miles an hour, and it's a blustery day. We got about 25 mile an hour winds out there, but you can hear it. It's pretty quiet in here. You know, some of the security systems on this, I've got the adaptive cruise control on right now, which is kind of cool, and it's showing me in the screen here little shadow vehicles that are passing me by, and then of course on the inside of the outside mirrors, you've got the light that flashes when someone is in your blind spot. You know, it's got ABS, it's got just, oh my gosh, you name it, and I named all of those and listed all of those in my outside review, but it's got the majority of the prerequisite type of safety systems on today's modern vehicles. You know, it's well put together. It's very much materials related to Volkswagen, which you come to expect from a Volkswagen. There's no rattles and squeaks. I like it. I'm not a big fan of the white steering wheel. I think that's going to get incredibly dirty over time, but you know, that's just a personal preference, and you may actually love it. We're rolling along at 25 right now, and punch it, and just like that, I'm up to 55. So not bad. It's not a blistering acceleration that will throw you into your seat and hold you there, something like an AMG Mercedes would do. But this is the rear-wheel drive, as I mentioned before, and it does not have the optional 300 and some horsepower that the four-wheel drive has, and those models will be coming in the future. But overall, nicely executed. Coming up next, Nathan's going to give you his take on a few points, and stay tuned.
All right, it's my turn to drive the new ID.4. I can tell you it's quiet. Wow. That's always an interesting experience on an all-electric car, not having the sound of the motor. That being said, I do, you know, at the lower speeds here, about 30, I do hear a little bit of tire sound. All right, in terms of a comfortable ride, you know, the seats are nice and comfortable. They're 12-way adjustable. You got a massaging function. As far as the ride on the road, it's right up there with, you know, with any other small SUV. In terms of getting in and out, we'll overlay a video here, but getting in and out was quite easy. The doors are wide enough that it wasn't a problem at all. And given that it's an SUV, it's up a little bit higher, so step in height, as far as, you know, when you sit in the seat, isn't as difficult as it is in a car. In terms of where everything is laid out, well, it's going to take a little bit of adjusting, because Volkswagen has put some things in unusual places. As far as like your window controls, you've got only two, and you got to switch between the rear and front with another button, some things like that. But it's just a question of getting used to those things. All right, so overall, just a really nice ride, right on par with any small SUV that you would get into as far as the ride quality.
Well, that's our review of the 2021 Volkswagen ID.4, and we appreciate you spending some time with us. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and please click on that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching.